So today we will be discussing a very simple topic that most of you have already studied in your school physics, but it will be just beneficial for us to recapitulate the terms in a single lecture. So the name of the topic for today, it is periodic motion. Periodic motion. So wherever you find any doubt, you please ask me. Periodic motion, it is defined as a motion which repeats itself again and again after a fixed interval of time. Let us say that fixed interval of time is capital T. We will use the symbol capital T for that, and that fixed interval of time is called, yes, time period. I
एक्सक्यूज मी
guess.
सर।
Yes, please.
सर ये सॉलिड मैकेनिक्स आपके बुक में है
No,
चैप्टर।
I have already uploaded its notes on the website of Applied Science Department. You can download. The name of the file is SHM.
ओके सर।
Can you
थैंक
do
यू।
you know the resource from where you can download these notes?
यस यस सर। यस सर।
The name of the file is SHM. Full chapter is already uploaded by me. Handwritten notes are there.
ओके सर।
You will not find any difficulty in getting these notes. Okay. So this is called time period. Now periodic motion usually is of two types. Periodic motion is usually is of two types. One is called cyclic motion and other is called vibratory motion. Cyclic motion, so you know this is sun and earth revolves around it, and after how much time earth completes starts repeating the same motion after,
Only
yes, after how much time the motion of the earth starts repeating means wherever it is here it will come
365 days.
very good, 365 days. So what will be 365 days? It will be time period. Then in case of vibratory motion we have simple pendulum, and you know, in case of simple pendulum, if this is the length and we have a mass m attached to it, and it let us say moves like this is the first extreme, this is the second extreme, and the motion of the pendulum will be, yes, either to the right like this, then it will come back from this position, then it will overshoot in this direction, then it will again come back in this direction. So what is the formula for time period? Capital
2
T
pi
is
into root of L by G.
2 pi square root of L by G.
2
So
pi
we will not give the fixed answer. Is it okay? So the value of the answer depends upon two things. Number one, where is the pendulum located, on earth or moon or something else where G can be different, and what is the length of the thread. Okay. So now what is the difference between cyclic and vibratory motion? You can see this from figure and tell me. One major difference between cyclic motion and this uh,
सर
pendulum
साइकिल
motion.
एक कॉमन पॉइंट है जहाँ पर एंड स्टार्ट हो रहा है वहीं पर एंड हो रहा है, लेकिन उसमें नहीं है
Very
वाइब्रेटरी
good.
में।
In case of vibratory motion, there are well defined extremes. Extreme points are starting or end point. These are called extreme points. These are well defined. And there is extreme is not well defined. We do not have any starting point and end point, or you can say all points are starting points and all points are end points. So extremes not defined. So please remember, all periodic motions are vibratory. Sorry, all vibratory motions are periodic. All cyclic motions are periodic, but all periodic motions may not be cyclic or vibratory. Is it clear? Should I move to the next part? So next is called frequency. Frequency. So yes, frequency. Symbol for it is nu, and it is defined as total number of cycles
Oscillations.
or vibrations in 1 second. So, what is the relation between frequency and t? Nu and t. So, let us prove it. So, let capital T is equal to time period. So, according to definition of time period, according to definition of time period, yes, yes, capital T time, capital T seconds will equal to one vibration or oscillation or cycle. Is it okay? So 1 second is equal to how many vibrations? If you apply unitary method, it will be 1 by capital T. So this is 1 second. And as per definition, number of cycles in 1 second. So this is actually 1 second. If the number of cycles in 1 second will give me the frequency. So this is therefore frequency. So therefore we have nu always equal to 1 by capital T. This is the relation, and unit of frequency is second inverse or hertz. Any doubt so far? So I will share this. So in this lecture, we will not be discussing cyclic motion. We will be discussing only vibratory or oscillatory motion. So then we have to therefore differentiate between vibratory and oscillatory motion. So what is vibratory motion? Vibratory motion. So please see this carefully. So a motion which repeats itself again and again between two well defined limits E1 comma E2, let us say, called extremes. We call these as extremes with fixed interval of time is called vibratory motion. So the best example of vibratory motion, you know, it is a simple pendulum. You might have seen a seesaw in the park. Is it okay? Next is oscillatory.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर
Yes.
सर जो सिंपल पेंडुलम है उसका मोशन ऑसिलेटरी नहीं होगा, वाइब्रेटरी कैसे?
Just I would rather like to ask a question from you, that do you know the difference between oscillatory motion and vibratory motion? Then I will be able to convince you. I want to check whether you have studied the definition of oscillation correctly or wrongly. Most of
सर
the,
वाइब्रेटरी,
yeah, ask the question.
नो सर मैं बताने लगी थी आपको जो मुझे
हाँ,
पता है।
हाँ पूछिए, बताइए बताइए।
सर जो वाइब्रेटरी मोशन है उसमें जैसे रैंडम मोशन होता है, मतलब एक पॉइंट पे फटाफट आता है, और ऑसिलेटरी में थोड़ा टाइम लगता है सर, ऐसे। यस सर।
Have, from where you have studied this?
नो सर, मतलब पढ़ा हुआ नहीं पता, लेकिन मैं अपने हिसाब से बता रही थी सर।
Okay, let me clear it. You will enjoy this today. Is it okay? Let me tell you. Right. Let me write the definition. After that, we will discuss. You will be able to get the answer by yourself without my explanation. Even if you are not convinced, then you will ask this question again from me. So, should I give the definition of oscillatory motion?
यस ऑफ कोर्स।
Okay. Oscillatory motion, although we call it to be a motion, although we call it to be a motion, but in real sense, it is not motion, it is variation. Okay, let me write down its definition. If value of some physical quantity is repeating after a fixed interval of time or some argument. It may not be time all the time, every time, or some argument, whatever is applicable. Then such a motion, this is very carefully I'm using this word, actually it should not be motion, then such a variation, it should be there, is called oscillatory motion. Is it okay? So now in this case, please see, a motion is for object, but value is for quantity. So suppose you have a capacitor. So initially it was uncharged. So you have charged it by connecting it to a battery. Okay, please listen to me. So you have charged a capacitor by connecting with a battery. Initially it was charged. So I connected a battery to this capacitor, and this is positive plate of battery, this is negative plate of battery. So this will become positively charged, this will become negatively charged. So what is the unit of charge, please tell me? Coulomb. Agreed? So when it is fully charged, let us say charge on this is 5 coulomb and charge on this is minus 5 coulomb. So now the capacitor is fully charged. We will disconnect the capacitor from the battery, and we will connect the capacitor to a resistance R. So when you will connect this capacitor to a resistance R, the capacitor will start discharging, and this value, which was 5, will become 4 after certain time, then it will become 3, then it will become 2, and ultimately it will become 0. And what will happen after becoming 0? Charge on it, this all these plates is 0 now. What will happen? Please remember, initially it was charged. Now what will happen? After that, this plate will start becoming negatively charged and it will start becoming positively charged, and this plus 5 will be here and minus 5 will be here. When this happens, now capacitor is again fully charged but in opposite direction. Now when it is fully charged in opposite direction, now what is going to happen? Now current will start flowing from this direction to this direction. So again, these values will start decreasing. 4 and 4, 3 and 3. Is it okay? Then again, it will become 0 and 0. One, it will become 0 and 0. After that, what is going to happen? Again, it will start charging, and soon you will get a stage. What will happen? You will get a stage where what will be the plate, what will be the charge on positive plate, the left plate? It will be positive, and on this will be negative. And what will be this value again? 5 coulomb, and this value will be minus 5 coulomb. Let us say whole of this process takes, let us say, 2 seconds. Now, please see, initially this stage was at 0 seconds and that stage changed, and after 2 seconds we are at the again same stage, and now this charge will again start decreasing, and after 4 seconds you will get again same stage. Is it okay? After 4 seconds you will get same stage, after 6 seconds you will get same stage. So please tell me what is changing. Please tell me what is changing. Value of charge. It is changing. It is a physical quantity. Nothing is being visible as moving. Only charge on this plate is decreasing, increasing, decreasing, increasing, decreasing, increasing. And after 2 seconds, the value of charge is same. And after every 2 seconds, the value of charge on a given plate capacitor is always same. So what would you say about this charging and discharging capacitor? So is it vibration or is it oscillation? Tell me, at least one student should give me the answer. Are you listening to me? So I hope now you know the difference between vibratory and oscillatory motion. Let us now discuss with you what is a simple harmonic motion. Simple harmonic motion. Please tell me, does it come in the category of oscillation or vibration? Simple harmonic motion. Does it come in the category of oscillation or vibration? You have studied.
Oscillation.
Let me tell you the two examples that you have studied in your school physics. One was simple pendulum, other was motion of a mass attached to a spring, either on a platform or hanging vertically. Now tell me, what is the class of this type of motion? Is it oscillatory or vibratory at first stage? Since mass is involved, na beta? Since mass is now involved, so some object is moving, so it is a vibratory motion. So simple harmonic motion, I will not take the example of a simple pendulum, I will take the example of a mass attached to a spring. So this is the platform, and I will take a spring. This is the natural length of the spring. Please see this. This is the natural length of the spring. So center of mass of the object attached is this one. So this mass is m. The natural length of the spring is x0, and I will take this length. up to the center of mass of the attached object. So we stretch this spring and then we release it. Please see, remember, I have not stretched up to this point. A point is any point. I have stretched beyond A, then I have released it. And when let us say I have stretched it up to this point. Let us say what is going to, sorry, I will bring this somewhere closer. Let us say I had stretched this object up to this point, and after releasing it will come in this direction. So this was the mean initial length of the spring. So new length is, let us say, it is x dash. And what is the extension in the spring? This is x. So please remember x naught, it is equilibrium length, x dash, it is length at any time t. It is also called instantaneous length. And x, which will be actually x dash minus x0, it is change in length. Of the spring, which is also called as extension. And we know that suppose this mass is m, so it will be feeling a force, restoring force. Capital F is directly proportional to extension. So therefore F is equal to minus kx. K is called spring constant. K is called spring constant, or it is also called force constant. Negative sign is due to the fact that this extension and this force are in opposite direction. If spring is extended to the right side, so okay, so this will be given by, let us say, according to Newton's second law, we know that F is equal to ma according to Newton's second law. If I combine both of these two equations, we will get ma is equal to minus kx, or this will give me a is equal to minus k by m and x. So since k is a property of spring, it is property of spring, so and I am not changing the spring, so it is a constant quantity. And m, mass attached to spring, it is also a constant quantity. So if k and m both are constant, then this ratio k by m is also constant, and therefore I can say A is
Excuse me,
proportional
sir, you are
to
not audible.
x. Okay, now I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So according to Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. So I have equated ma with equal with the kx. So A will be equal to minus k by mx. So please read that, see that k is a property of spring, m is also a constant, so ratio k by m will be constant. So A is proportional to x, but I will, because it is a one dimensional example, so in case of one dimension, negative sign is very important, because we, in case of one dimensional motion, we have only two directions. One is positive direction, other is a negative direction. Positive direction is away from origin and negative direction is towards origin. So since I have got here a negative direct sign, so I will rather in the proportionality keep negative alive. I will not ignore it. So this a kind of motion is called simple harmonic motion. So a motion is said to be simple harmonic motion if acceleration is directly proportional to extension and it is always directed toward mean position. Acceleration is always directed toward mean position. Have you got this correct? And this is the basic definition that I am giving. From this definition I will derive another part, and I will tell you there is another way of defining the simple harmonic motion which most of the students might not have done in their school physics. Is it okay? Can I move to the next page? Now we have this. What is the position of object? Now we will do the things in other way around. Position of object. What is the position of object? Let me show you the previous page. So what is the position of object? Which variable is showing the position of object? Please see. If I take this as origin, let me take this as origin. What will be the position of the object? You know na what is position? Position is separation of object from origin. What is this? That at any instant of time, which variable will be position in this figure? Please tell me. Yes. So position will be actually x dash. So position of object is actually x dash. And what is x dash? It is actually x plus x0. Is it okay? Because x was x dash minus x0. So please note that this is constant. Okay. So what will be the velocity of object at any time? Let v is equal to velocity of object at any time. At any time. Please tell me. Velocity will be equal to dx dash upon dt. It will be d upon dt of x plus x naught, and it will be simply equal to dx by dt, because dx naught by dt will be 0 as x naught is a constant quantity. What will be acceleration? It will be dv upon dt, and it will be therefore d upon dt of dx by dt, that will be d2x upon dt square. Is it okay? So if this is okay for you people, then I can put this value in this equation. Let us say this is equation number 3. This is taking some time to look. Okay, if I put this value in, put in 3, then you will get d2x upon dt square is equal to minus k upon m and x. So I will put, if we put k upon m is equal to omega square. So I am not calling it angular frequency right now, so we will see it later on. It will come out to be angular frequency. So since k and m both are positive, so omega, when I will take square root, negative sign will not come. It will be only positive. So it will be therefore minus omega square x. This will be actually d2x upon dt square. If I take this on the left hand side, it will be d2x upon dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. This is equation number 4. Is it clear up to this point? So this equation can be solved with this standard method. So we will call let d upon dx is equal to capital D. It is one dimensional del vector, nothing else. So therefore d2x it will be d2 upon dx2, it will become d square. Therefore above equation becomes it will become d square x plus omega square x equals to 0. Its auxiliary equation is given by, so in case of auxiliary, to write the auxiliary equation you can write it like this: d square plus omega square and x is equal to 0. So you remove x, it will become d square plus omega square equal to 0. This will give you d square is equal to omega square with minus sign. I can write it as iota square omega square, and therefore you will get d is equal to plus minus iota omega. These are its two roots. So if these are its two roots, the solution of such a equation is given by x is equal to a cos omega t, because in case of solution you remove omega. It is a standard procedure. It is with plus sign, and then it will be b sine omega t. This is the solution. So this is the solution. So the position of the object, it will change like this. Now we can put where a and b are actually constants of integration. Rather, instead of a and b, I will not use a and b right now here. I will use here c1 and c2, where c1 and c2 are constants of integration. We can put c1 is equal to a sine theta and c2 equal to a cos theta. If we put these two things where a and theta are constants, so then I can get c is equal to a sine theta cos omega t plus a cos theta and sine omega t, and if I take a common, that is the solution. It will be a sine omega t plus theta. This is the solution. So if I take its derivative, then velocity dx by dt we know from the previous page. So you can see, if I show you the previous page, so velocity is actually dx by dt, acceleration is actually d2x by dt square. So I will be solving up to this point, and dx by dt is actually nothing, it is minus, yes, a omega cos omega t, sorry, let me correct it, it will be cos omega t plus theta, and if I, this will be velocity, and acceleration will be equal to d2x by dt square. It will be actually dv by dt, and if you take its derivative, it will be minus omega square a sine omega t plus theta, or you can say a is actually minus omega square, yes, x. This is nothing but the equation that we obtained from the figure. Please remember, this equation I have obtained right now theoretically, and initially I obtained that equation from the figure by the description, like this, from the description by using you can say that was actually your which law? Hooke's law. Is it okay? So now you can give the another definition to SHM. In case of simple harmonic motion, all motions are called simple harmonic motion. If you take this as the standard equation of SHM, this is the standard equation of SHM. Standard equation of SHM. So I will stop after giving this definition because I made a promise that I will give you another definition of SHM. So let me show you what definition of SHM I gave. I think I did not write it. I did not write it, but I spoke that the simple harmonic motion is that motion in which acceleration is directly proportional to displacement and it is always directed toward mean position. But if you see here, you can give the definition of SHM in such a way that, let me change the ink color. SHM, new definition, simple harmonic motion, new definition is that if position of object is changing sinusoidally, that is according to sine or cosine function. If position sinusoidally, if position of an object is changing sinusoidally with constant amplitude, then such a motion is called simple harmonic motion. Then such a motion is called simple harmonic motion. I think it will be okay for you for this lecture. So I will stop here. Thank you. Thanks a lot.